Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the Court of the Edijester. Just when you think things can't get any more insane, we have more lunacy. Or should I say, lunarcy. Let's see what I did there, but he will in a minute. I'll be patient. Now, warrior teachers, November. November is the next start date. So, get your details in. Give me your dates so I can contact you. Other than that, buy me a coffee, subscribe to my Substack, do the usual if you wouldn't mind. Thank you very much. That'll be very helpful. So we've got here today, schoolboy allowed to identify as a wolf. A school... Teachers reportedly supporting the pupil who claims to be suffering from species dysphoria. I mean, this was inevitable, wasn't it? It was inevitable. Now, I've met a few wolves in my time, and I can tell you now that you don't support a wolf. You run from it as fast as you can. Big hulking brutes. So this schoolboy has been allowed to identify as a wolf, according to reports. The pupil claims to suffer from species dysphoria, a non-clinical condition in which an individual feels their body belongs to a different species. I mean, where does it end? Where does it end? What are you doing? How are you doing there, Johnny? You all right over there? I see. Right, okay. Where does it end? Right? Absolute unmitigated nonsense. So I'm a trans reptile. Are you? What kind of reptile are you? I'm a gecko. Yeah, go on then, get on the ceiling. It's absolutely insane. Why are you late? I'm a trans snail. Can anybody smell anything? Yeah, it's Johnny. What's his problem? He's a trans skunk. Absolutely insane, right? Mad as a hatter, the lot of them. So this is now a story. By all accounts, teachers at the secondary school in Britain, this was in Scotland, are understood to be supporting the child's decision, the Daily Mail reports. So it's the Daily Fail, right? And the Tory graph here. This is apparently a non-clinical condition in which an individual fears their body belongs to a different species, as we said, and a growing number of school children have asked to be officially recognised as animals, including cats, foxes, birds, and dinosaurs. Do you want to go back to the days when you used to beat them if they were stupid? This is Scotland, and by the way, just so you know, it's a secondary school, not a primary school. There's a serious edge to this, which we'll come to. So, Tommy Mackay, a clinical neuropsychologist, told the Daily Mail there is no such condition in science as species dysphoria. Not surprising that we are seeing this in an age where many people want to identify as something other than they are. I wish they'd stop saying that. I identify as. Oh, you can't. You can't. You just can't. Right? To identify is to point something out. Right? So if somebody came up to you and looked at you and went, twat, that would be you're identified as a twat. You don't identify as anything. You are something. In this case, as a boy who might be extremely ill. We don't know, do we? And also, what's the effect going to be on the other pupils? It's a safeguarding matter, right? It's just beyond me that I think it's a safeguarding matter, don't you? Glad to see that you agree. Now, so this wolf nonsense is obviously, it's completely a lunatic, absolute lunatic, mad as a hatter. But what's even worse was this guy that was on GB News. And so we've got a little clip of GB News, only a little bit, just to keep you happy, and you can see what he had to say. Right, personally, I think he's another one for the Fruit Loop Bowl, but take a look and see.
I think there's a safeguarding issue here. Not only a safeguarding issue for the child that presents himself or herself as a wolf, but also for the other kids in the class.
Yeah.
What's that message sending out?
Right, Jonathan.
How does the teacher address this child?
I don't really know why we're talking about this on national television. This is something
because it's a real thing.
Bev,
it is so common.
Perfectly well why we're talking about this, because this is an attempt by people who viciously hate trans people to put a story about that makes it look ridiculous, makes the idea of identifying about as something that you're not, makes so ridiculous and preposterous and obscene that obviously no one could ever believe that it could take place.
Identifying as an animal with
should obviously not indulge such stupidity.
It's nothing to do with gender.
It's the equivalent of what happened in 20 years ago It's equivalent of what happened 20 years ago when I was told, well, if two men can marry, then why not two dogs? There's one.
To compare this lunacy and the trans nonsense to being gay. They do that, don't they? These nuts, right? And that's another one for the fruit bowl as far as I'm concerned. There he is, look. Andrew, I think it is, isn't it? Andrew something. Whatever his name is on the screen, all right? I've had enough of these people, and I think it's, about time we dealt with him. He sits there going, well, this is obviously meant to be an anti-trans. Nobody cares. You're a gay man. Stop supporting men in footy knickers who are just gusset fumblers, and stop being such a damned homophobe by doing so. Somebody needs to safeguard this kid, and I hope they are. That school needs a visit, whatever the school is, and the Telegraph will know who it is. That is a massive safeguarding red flag. Not so much that the boy's doing it, because you could get him to stop doing it in 2 minutes. If you're male enough and gruff enough, he'd stop, right? It's the fact that the school are actually doing this. That's the safeguarding risk. That school is unfit for children. But that's just my take. I'll be interested, of course, to hear, as usual, of yours. There we go. Don't say I don't bring you interesting stuff. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.